Hey everyone, and welcome to Skhillz Academy Virtual Open House presentation. I know we're supposed to go live since 12 o'clock, but we had some technical difficulties, so there's that. But we're here nonetheless. So, again, welcome to Skhillz Academy Virtual Open House. So, what we want to do here today, it's myself, Tracy V. Allen, and Professor Julia Bali, and we want to tell you a little bit about our school, what we have going on, what makes us different, because there are tons of virtual schools are out there right now, but we want to tell you what makes us different and why you should choose us to have your child homeschool or use us as your supplemental resource for your homeschooling curriculum. Okay. I tried this before, right? Yes. So, welcome to Skhillz Academy, where every child's potential becomes reality. Because, unlike what's happening currently, we know that every child, no matter what, has the potential to learn. So, we're going to do our welcomes to the virtual open house. Again, myself and Professor Julia Bali are the founders of Skhillz Academy. It is a virtual K to 12 school with also after school resources, so homework help, tutoring, and a lot of other things that we will discuss as we go along. All right. What we do at Skills is reimagine education. That should actually say K to 12. But for K to 8, we're starting with the K to 5 for the 2025-2026 school year. Because, we're getting our feet wet. This is a grand opening. So we want to make sure that we have worked out most, if not all, of the kinks. So we're starting with K to 5 for this school year and our after school program. At Skills Academy, your child's academic excellence and life success starts here. So
So
next.
before we go any further, just 30 seconds. Hello, everyone. I am Professor Julia Bali, as Dr. Tracy V. Allen already mentioned. But we're going to also add a little bit of what you just saw to that script, to that presentation, and just share out a little bit about us. And so what
Yeah,
makes
I
us
just assumed that everybody knew who I was. Sorry.
She's diving into the meat and potatoes. So
I know.
I am totally with her because she is diving into the meat and potatoes. She's like, let's get to why you are here. We're gonna take 30 seconds also to just go with understanding who you're entrusting this educational journey with. And let you know that we are coming to you with years of experience. And so by that, we have a combined 50 years, almost 50 years of experience here in this virtual space. So everything from the pre-K to grade 12, we've experienced. I've experienced, in addition to being in the Boogie Down South Bronx, a high school principal for 10 years. And so there is a plethora, and I'm going to also let, Dr. Allen share a little bit of her background. So a lot of the work that I've done has been with special needs students, and bringing in a career exposure in the high school space, and currently working with training teachers. So aside from what we're doing here, embarking on taking our years of expertise and bringing it to what we know works. So we've been doing this for quite some time now, and we've seen a lot of the pitfalls. We've seen a lot of the gaps in the learning. And so we've put together this experience that addresses all of those things with our very diverse lens of expertise here. Like I said, almost 50 years of expertise speaking with you on today. So I'm going to let Dr. Allen share a little bit of her expertise, and then I'm going to let her do what she does best, which is dive into the meat and potatoes, which is why you are really here.
Yeah. I am so sorry, everyone, because I'm on my personal page. I'm just like, well, everybody knows who I am. But let me give you a little background about myself, because I think a lot of you know me as a nonprofit consultant, which I am. But I also have an extensive background in education. I taught for in the public school for about 15 years. I have taught first grade, fifth grade. Most of my time was spent on the middle school level as an English language arts teacher and department chairperson. And then I've done GED extensively as well, and I've taught some college courses. And in my own business as a nonprofit consultant, I do a lot of training and development. So teaching is in my blood. No matter what I'm doing, what industry I'm in, I'm always teaching. And from that experience, we've seen a lot of gaps in the educational system throughout that we feel in this school that we can address. So that is one of the main reasons that we decided to start this school, is because we feel that we are well equipped to fill those educational gaps that we've been seeing. Plus, as some of you may know or may not know, I did homeschool my daughter for about 6 years. I graduated her at 13 and a half, 14. So let's just say 14. So I understand the virtual education space as well as the physical education space. And I understand how you can take your child to the educational level that you want your child to be at virtually. So a lot of people think that when you're doing virtual education, one of the things that you miss is socialization, and it doesn't have to be that way, and it wasn't that way for my daughter. So bringing that experience from various industries, both Julie and I are more than qualified to help you to get your child's educational needs, whether it's you don't want your child going to public school because maybe the public school in your area is not graded above a D, right? Or your child has some special needs from that they need to be at home for. And that's one of the things that Julia talked about, working with the special needs population. So did I. I taught a lot of inclusive classes. So everything from regular ed to inclusive to AP classes. So we've taught the gamut. We have so much experience in this area, that we just know that we are fully equipped to help you to advance your child's educational needs in a safe space that will, I like to say, tickle their brains and help them to think outside the box. Because we don't want robots. We want people who are free thinkers and understand how to use analytic thinking to solve their own problems. So, yes. So the problem with traditional school, I think I just kind of went into it, and I kind of do that a lot, right? So the problem with traditional education, why parents are seeking a better option. So most traditional education is a one size fit all approach, right? A typical class usually has anywhere between 20, classes even 35 students, and you have one teacher to all of these people. Right, all of these little people who have questions, they have concerns, they have their own personality, and it can become overwhelming for the teacher, especially if you have a very diverse class of students and you don't have help, right? So in Skhillz Academy, via that it's virtual, we help to address that problem. It's a 1-to-1 or 1 to a small group, mostly 5 students in a class. Okay. Minimal real life skill development. That is something that we're definitely addressing in Skhillz Academy, is making sure that everything we teach is relevant to real life, because that's what we're preparing them for. We're not just giving them a lot of useless information that they can't apply to becoming productive citizens in our society. So we have a holistic approach to how your child is being educated. Limited parent involvement and communication. And if anybody has taught, that is one of the biggest issues we have. And Julia, jump in at any point in time. Don't let me just run my mouth.
Oh, no, you got it. I got you. You keep it going.
Yeah, so limited parental involvement is definitely a huge thing. One of the things I know for sure is that most parents, when they're homeschooling, are super involved. When I was homeschooling my daughter, there were tons of cooperatives that you could go to. Parents would go out with their kids. So it's a different, and that's not shade to parents who work, but in this smaller settings, parents tend to be a little bit more involved. And to get parents even more involved, we have special programs that we built in to our system to address those parents who may need more support in a variety of different areas. We have built in curriculum to for parents because we want to make sure that we're servicing the entire family. Then
Yeah.
we have the student. Go ahead.
No, I was saying yes. I was just boiling it down and saying, so what we are offering you is the true individualized education plan for your child. So
Mhm.
every child comes in, they're getting what works best for them. So we are doing the key elements that we know is what education should be, which is meeting every child where they are and getting them to their next absolute best selves. So that's what we know we want for our child, but we know in larger classroom settings that that is not always possible. And so we are providing the true individual and then the whole family. So we're
Mhm.
individualizing the child, we're individualizing the needs of the family, and there's so much that we offer for families that you definitely want to find out about those experiences as well.
Yes.
Take it away.
Students often perform below their actual capabilities in a regular classroom. And that's because I always tell the story of my daughter moving from one district because she went to Catholic school and going into the Catholic school, the new Catholic school, when we moved to Hartford, Connecticut, and her teacher telling her that she could not write in cursive because none of her other classmates knew how to write in cursive.
Yeah, I remember
So
that.
she had to regress in order to accommodate the rest of the class who was not at her level, right? But then on the other hand, the teacher had her do most of the reading because she was always reading 3 grade levels to 4 grade levels above her actual grade level. Her reading comprehension was always, you know, up
Mm-hmm.
here because her vocabulary was. So we're not going to be doing that at Skills. We're not going to keep your child back in just because this grade level dictates that they should be doing this, right? If your child is advanced, they can take the classes in the grade that they are supposed to be in based on their educational level. If their child has some issues with, like, let's say math, right? And they're in the 4th grade and they're scoring on a 3rd grade level, we have programs, we have curriculum to accommodate that, to fill in that gap so that we can get them to their actual grade level. So we're supporting your child regardless to whether your child is accelerated or needs some remediation. Anything you want to add?
No, you got it.
Okay.
On to the next.
Lack of personalization or personalized attention and flexible pacing. And I basically just spoke to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's really no personalization. And again, it's not a dig to public school teachers because, like, we've all been public school teachers, right? So that's not a dig. It's just that there's a lot going on and they don't have the time, the capacity to individualize the learning plans for your child's specific learning style and learning needs. So at Skills Academy, because we're a micro school, virtual micro school, and we believe in the small, like I said, almost one-to-one type setting so that your child can get the best out of the experience, where school doesn't become a chore, where they're going to love coming to school. So we have a really flexible plan of how we're going to be doing our schedule so your child doesn't get bogged down and tired. And there's no homework really over here because what should happen in school needs to happen between the hours of school so that the child can have time to live their own lives. Because, yes, little people have lives too after school is done. So, yeah. All right, Julia.
So we have the blended learning that works. So that again, we talked about that personalized instruction. We give you the best of both worlds because we have the live instruction. So we have that synchronous instruction. We have the asynchronous instruction that goes along with their day. So they're not on a computer all day long. That is not the purpose of what we do. A portion of their day is spent on the computer. A portion of their day, we have the breaks provided during the course of the day. A portion of their day is spent during the work that they need to be working on asynchronously. So we take into consideration their developmental needs as we planned out this learning experience for them as well as what was stated. So we have the actual application. So one of the challenges being around quite a bit of curriculum development is creating the curriculum and creating this very sterile in classroom experience, as opposed to being able to take the information and apply it to what happens in their everyday world. So is it great? Think about a lesson where they are learning about recycling and they're watching a video in the classroom of recycling, or they're walking out into their neighborhoods and they're actually recycling, or they're in the kitchen helping you to recycle. And so that's what we're talking about when we're talking about the actual experience, partnering with the families, and everything that we're doing because we have done the research as educators, because we've done the research professionally upon opening this learning experience, we're using results that work. Anything else you want to add?
No, you said it all.
So let's progress on.
Okay.
What's our next topic up for discussion?
Comprehensive curriculum excellence beyond traditional academics. And I think we've covered quite a bit of this already, but we're going to go through it again. So we know our core subject areas are math, ELA, science, and social studies. Okay. We know this. Every child needs to have math. ELA is English language arts, science, and social studies. But there's so much more to a holistic educational development of a child beyond the core. So I'll just give you a little bit of insight into how our day is set up. So the English language arts and the social studies, they will have 2 days a week, right? So opposite days, let's say Monday and Wednesday, they will do English language arts and social studies. And these are in 90-minute blocks. And then on Tuesday and Thursday, they will have math and science, and those are also 90-minute blocks. So they're not bogged down with having to go through all four subjects every day. It gives their minds some time to breathe. It gives them some time to absorb the information and see how the information that they're learning in one subject area goes across the curriculum, right? Then we have premium digital platforms. So for the first half an hour of the day, like Julia talked about before, we are actually teaching the class. So they have teacher experience. So even though this is a virtual school, it's not just all on the computer and they're sitting behind like they're playing roadblocks or anything like that. That's not what it is. We're actually interacting with the students. There's actual teaching happening. And then for the next 60 minutes, they will go ahead and do the rest of the core using a digital platform. So there's both live instruction and digital platform, both of them. So then we have our accelerated learning opportunities. So we talked about that before. If your child is a gifted, because we have a lot of gifted kids out here, we do have an accelerated learning opportunities for those children. Non-artificial no artificial grades and level limitations. So we, again, will not be holding your child back. We will let your child excel at their rate, right? It's almost like a hybrid. And I don't want to really say the school, but the program that I'm talking about, where kids are free to learn the way that they need to learn, right? and just making sure that we are showing them how everything correlates to one another. Because how many of us said, I'm never going to use geometry. Why do I need to learn this? Right? How many of us said, I'm never going to use algebra. Why do I need to learn this? So we want to make sure that they understand the correlation between everything that they're learning and how it applies to their real life. And that kind of goes back to the life skills, right? So life skills integration. I used to teach a life skills class during the summer, and I cannot tell you in my adult life teaching like GED classes how many people I realized were just not ready for life, right? There are so many things that they were not taught that they're fumbling through in life. And so we're going to make sure that we are able to close that gap in our school. So digital literacy is going to be a huge component, and citizenship, making sure that our kids understand how to be good citizens in our society. Doesn't mean that they have to obey every law or whatever, just how to work with other people and how to be good citizens, how to be good people, basically, right? Because that's a good citizen, is making sure that you're good at people. And digital literacy is not knowing how to just play a game on your computer. It's actually learning how to do things like coding, safety, all of those things make up digital literacy, which a lot of kids are lacking. Because they know how to use your phone doesn't mean that they're digitally literate. Financial literacy is also another component, because we know a lot of us as adults don't have a good relationship with money. And that good relationship with money starts as a child. They need to learn early on how money works and how to have a good relationship with it. So financial literacy is going to be one of the other components. We're also going to have soft skills. There are lots of soft skills that we need for a very productive life, for a fulfilled life. So, learning those soft skills is going to be another thing that they're going to have access to. And then career exploration, starting in elementary school. So from K5, we're going to start career exploration. It doesn't mean that they have to know what they want to do for the rest of their life, but they have to see the possibilities of what is out there, what is possible for them to do. Because most kids only know what they know based on watching TV or what their parents do. We want to be able to expose them to a wide variety of careers and dive deep into what they need if they even thought about going into that career field, right? We're going to be bringing in experts. They're going to have the opportunity to do like some job shadowing. So it's going to be just a holistic, like I said, this is a holistic program. This is the school that we wish that we could have worked in, that we're actually creating right now, right?
Oh, sad.
Yeah.
That sums that part up. The school that we wish that we worked in. Yes.
Yeah.
That hits it right on the head. So again, that daily live instruction. We do have monthly, because I know that this is definitely a question. Sometimes you may start a school year and then make a decision, oh, it's not working. I want to have this alternative option. So we do have that monthly onboarding, rolling admissions process, having that immersive learning experience is so much more than just having hands-on experiences at home. We really take you out of your element, into the community, in an immersive learning experience. And yes, I know I said virtual, and I said and I did say learning experience. So that is definitely something that you want to know about, because that's one of those key elements that really sets us apart from other virtual learning experiences. We have the choice-based learning. Basically, what this means is in the afternoon, the students, because I am such an advocate for student voice, like that was like my entire career. Like, tell me what you need, tell me how it can help you, but let's be a part of the learning. Let's be a part of developing the learning experience together. What's missing from our curriculum, what's missing from our strategies and our skills. Student choice in the afternoon is going to be is a huge factor in terms of students deciding what do they want their afternoon experience to look like as learners.
Democratizing their educational experience. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And so we have that as an element of their learning experience where they have a voice and they have a say, because one, we want them to enjoy the learning experience, but we are also embedding self-advocacy in the process as well, which is
Mhm.
something that all citizens need. So we're starting them off young.
Yep.
And we have our social civic citizenship, which is really going to something that, again, as we go through this process, you'll hear us say a lot we wish we had. Just being able to instill the concept of citizenship from an elementary level. We teach it in high school as a one-off course,
Mhm.
and then we are challenged with us understanding the concept of citizenship. So we have developed our own curriculum around having that experience embedded from the elementary school level, having our parents as partners, not saying our parents are partners, but actually having you as partners, as a part of the team of your child's learning. So you also, parent voice is huge. Have a say in, once we put this amazing plan together, what do you feel? You know your child better than we do, but we're coming alongside you. We're going to be the other family member. And so we want to be able to then sit with you and say, this is working, this isn't working. What have you seen work, and how can we best support and excel your child moving forward? So these are all of the experiences. And so when we talk about like the community, this was something that was said as I was a child. And we grew up together. So they always talked about the village raising the child. And so
Mhm.
somehow we have stepped away from that concept, very, very far away from that concept. And so it's bringing it back again. And let's do this together so that we have the best possible outcome for your child's learning experience.
Yeah, I think we kind of glazed over that. We've known each other since we were 8 years old.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did glaze over that, right?
Yeah.
We decided not to put our ages out there. So that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, we've known each other literally practically all our
Decades.
lives.
Decades.
So, yeah. Okay. So, your child's typical day, and in true fashion, I've already kind of told you this, right? So,
This is what it
um,
looks like.
yeah. So we call it structured yet flexible. Okay. So there is some structure to it because kids do need a little bit of structure, right? But it's still very flexible for the child. So again, we don't want our kids to feel overwhelmed by learning, but we do want them to understand that, you do have to have some type of structure. So at 8, school starts at 8:45 in the morning, and that's what we call our morning check-in and goal setting. I call it the hype session. Okay. So every morning we're going to check in with our kids, get them hyped up to get ready to learn. This does include like a daily journaling prompt that we have created where they're going to write their goals and draw a picture of what that goal looks like. And then at the end of the day, we do a reflection piece. So whatever you set out as your goal, we're going to reflect and see, did you achieve it? Right. And go through the process of why didn't you achieve it, or what part did you achieve. It's to teach the kids self-reflection, because a lot of us have issues with that, right? We don't know how to self-reflect. We don't know how to hold ourselves accountable for the things that we do. So we want to make sure that kids have emotional intelligence. That's the word. And then from 9 to 9:30, they'll have the math block. And then from 10:40 to 12, they'll have the ELA block. Then, well, this isn't actually correct. So we need to make a change to that, because it's what I said earlier. So the blocks will be from 9 to 9:30. That will be like, say, math block. And then from 10:40 to 12:20, that would be science, because math and science would be on the same day. And
Mhm.
then that afternoon portion is actually the choice component, right?
Right.
So that's where they'll have their social emotional learning class every day. They'll have a foreign language every day, and then they have their choices. They have a plethora of other nano courses and CTEs, or whatever that they can choose from that coincide with their interests.
Yes.
So we call it the art and movement, life skills, all of these things. We have a ton of those courses that they can choose from in their area. And then on Fridays, we have a half day. So, yeah, Fridays they need to go have fun. So we have a half day on Friday. So school is from 8:45 to 12:10, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
And this is going to be our career exploration day. This is where we're going to dive deep into different careers. And I created the curriculum. It's a very extensive. I've taught career exploration before, so I created the curriculum for K-5. And I'm telling you, your kids are absolutely going to love it. And like I said earlier, even if you don't need our full services for your child, like maybe you have something else that you're doing for the math, science, social studies, and ELA, your child can come to our school in the afternoon for our choice programs, right? So we are flexible in that way that we can accommodate you however you need to be accommodated. If it's just for the career explorations on Friday, we can accommodate you in that way too. You just have to reach out to us and let us know. And like we talked about, structured yet flexible, we're structured yet flexible, right? Because we want to make sure that every child has this immersive experience.
And this is your baby.
I like how you just like, oh no, I'm not doing this. Okay,
This
technology and
is your
platform.
baby.
Okay, technology and platform excellence. So premium tools for premium results. So like I talked about earlier, digital literacy. Digital literacy is a key component to success in the future of your child. So one of the reasons I am uniquely equipped to talk about digital literacy because I have a whole company that deals with digital literacy. It's called AI Architect, where I do training and development around AI and other technological tools. So again, like she said, this is my baby. I created the curriculum around digital literacy for the K-12 program at Skhillz Academy. So we're going to talk about professional learning platforms that your kids can use. We're going to make sure that your child knows how to use these tools ethically and how to protect themselves while using these tools, because there's a lot of stuff going on that children are getting caught up with when it comes to technology. And that is because they don't understand how to protect themselves. They don't know how to see the red flags. And that is a key component of the digital literacy curriculum, making sure that your child understands how to use different technology tools so that they are future ready, but they're also doing it safely. Okay. We're doing this in our Google Classroom. That is where we're going to use. So it seamlessly assigns and keeps a track of attendance and your child's work and all of that stuff. And it's easy to use because we don't want the platforms to be hard. Comprehensive assessments. So initial placement and ongoing progress monitoring. Every single child that comes into our school will be given an assessment. We're not just going to place your child in a grade based on age. That is not how our school works. So your child will be given an assessment, and based on their performance, that is how they will be placed. So your child could be 8 years old and probably taking a fifth grade English language arts class and maybe a fourth grade math class and a third grade science class, right? So it's that individualized. So we're definitely going to have individualized placements for our kids because every child will have a pre-assessment, a mid-assessment, and a post-assessment. Okay, because we want to make sure that we are reaching your child where your child is, right? Parent portal access. So we are going to have a parent portal access so the parent can see what is happening and where their child is at all times, right? Transparency, because we want that involvement from the parent. We want you to buy into the educational experience that your child is having. And then we have our tech support. We handle the technology. Um, so that you can focus on the learning. So all of that is on us. We have people behind the scenes who can deal with that to make sure that your child has a great learning experience. Anything you want to add?
That's your baby. I would never touch it.
Go ahead.
And so let's talk about getting started. So we have shared with you just a snippet, just the tip of the iceberg, as they would say, everything under the surface. There's so much more to the learning experience that we are offering and providing for your child. But what is your next step? So you've heard this wonderful information. So the next step is an application. You submit an application. You can ask us questions. You can set up a one-to-one session if there are more questions that you have we want to make sure that it's a fit. It's a fit for you. It's a fit for your child, and it's a fit for what we offer. So we want to provide the best experience. So we want to make sure that it's a fit. So you start with the application process. We have a welcome package. And then we have an orientation process that takes place. So that welcome package with the materials of a journal and writing tools and different things will be sent directly to you. So that welcome package is mailed to you. And then an orientation week is where we have that assessment piece that Tracy spoke about. We get into that digital citizenship during that first week. We are building community. We are first getting to know you, getting to know your child. You're getting to know us. And that is what happens during orientation week. And then after that, we will share what that individualized plan looks like after these assessments have been taken. And then we move forward with the actual learning experience. So the actual learning experience then goes place where we have now agreed on that individualized learning plan. And so our next cohort is going to be starting on September 8th. And like I said, there is a rolling monthly orientation and application process, but you really want to get in from the ground and get started with us on September 8th. And again, reach out to us if there are any further questions that you have, because there's so much more that we want to be able to that we're able to share with you one-on-one, and you ask us your questions, we provide the answers, and we find out if it's going to be a fabulous village.
Okay, so you want to join the Skhillz Academy family? Questions and next steps. So if you're ready to transform your child's education, this is what you need to do. We're here. Ask us some questions. What questions do you have? You can put them in the chat, or you can, put them in the chat and we'll answer them. Follow-up information, you can go to skhillzacademy.org, and you can see it's spelled a little different. So make sure you understand the spelling of the word. Skhillzacademy.org is where you can go find some information. You can find the application on skhillzacademy.org. It's under forms. I'm going to show you the URL at the end. And then you want to contact us. If you go to the website and you go to booking, you can book a call with us so that you can ask your individualized questions if you need to. So that is your next steps. Either you've made up your mind, hey, this is something I'm interested in, or I want to hear more. And if you're interested, just go ahead and fill out the form, pay your tuition, and we'll get started on September 8th. If you have more questions, go ahead, click the book a consultation, and we will be able to do that as well. At Skhillz Academy, we don't just prepare students for tests, because that's not what we're doing. We're not teaching to the test. We prepare them for life. So ready to get started? Let's chat. One way or the other, let's chat. All right, and this is where you can find the application form if you are interested in enrolling your child in Skhillz Academy for the September 8th grand opening of this school.
And so
Anything
let's
else you want
recap. You
to
are
add?
getting
True teacher form.
you are getting an individualized plan based on the assessment. You are getting live instruction, and you are getting the support of family support. So, not just looking at your child, but we also have immersive experiences for the child and the family as well. So, again, and we individualize their plan, we individualize their day. They have choice of what they're learning. They are a part, so they're not taught to, they are a part of their own learning experience. Anything else you want to add?
No, that's it for me.
Okay. All right. Thank you
All
so much.
right. I don't see any questions, so we'll end it here. If you have you're watching this on the replay, please let us know in the comment section that you're watching this on the replay. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. I will definitely answer you or direct you to where you can find the information that you're looking for. And thank you for joining us today. Those of you who did join us, thank you for joining us. Truly appreciate it. And we will be going live. What is it? 6 o'clock? 7 o'clock?
Seven
Which one
o'clock.
is
I am not on your time
it?
schedule.
I'm already up at six
You
o'clock,
are
but
not
we'll be
getting me
going.
up at 6 a.m. in the morning to
Yeah.
have cohesive conversation.
So we'll be going live at 7 o'clock Monday through Friday or
Mm-hmm.
Monday through Thursday. I don't know. Yeah. But Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday. Um, to talk about different aspects of what we're doing with the school and the different aspects of education so that you can get a true understanding of what it is that we're building, because we're building something different. It's not your typical virtual school. This is not just a plug and play system. We really want to see the change that we know we can have in our community through this school. Okay. All right. Thank you for joining us again. Bye
Thank
bye.
you so much. Bye bye.